Hi, this is Ryan from the Kern River Fly Shop and the Buhler Brothers. Today my tying video is going to be on the Rainbow Warrior, one of the more modern nymphs that has become a standard in everyone's fly box. It's a great attractor pattern that is multiple purposed. It can be run under a dry dropper rig in just a couple feet of water, deep down with a heavy bead and a Euro nymphing rig, or under a standard indicator rig in any condition. It's developed by Lance Egan, and he originally tied it on a scud hook, 2457. This one's going to be a size 14. I usually tie most of mine on size 14s or 16s, but you can go down to 22s up to 12s, whatever fits your water. The bead I'm going to use is a 7/64 tungsten bead. It's nickel. A lot of people like to use silver. You can go extra big. I use the same bead on a 16 hook. If you're using the jig hooks, you can go with the slotted beads. You can go even bigger. So don't be afraid to go big to suit your waters where you need to get down a little deeper. Like I said, it's a great attractor. It's got a hot spot by the bead. The bead itself is an attractor. The body is a pearl flashaboo, which really reflects multiple colors when you see it from different angles. So we'll get this going. I'll get a different hook in here right now, or a bear hook I should say. I already have the bead on it. One thing that Rob and I like to do when you're putting on our beads or tying with beads is, if we can, there's a little hole and a big hole on each bead. We'll put the big hole towards the eye of the hook, and the little hole is on the other side facing the hook itself. Having that little hole, the bead itself slopes down to that little hole, and it creates a better transition between your body and the fly itself. You can get a lot cleaner look, and if you want to stay really slender, you can with that kind of setup. You just got to make sure that the bead doesn't block the tippet from going in the eye of the hook. We're going to start some red thread. Get a little, let me tighten that up, there we go. A little base going here. Once you get a few wraps on there, you can cut off your tag end. And we're going to wrap all the way down that scud hook, about 3/4 of the way. There we go. Bring our thread back up. The original pattern has pheasant tail for the tailing. You can substitute Coq de Leon feathers if you like. We're going to use the original here. I'm going to pull off 4 or 5 fibers, pull them out straight and get them lined up so the tips are nice and even on the end there. And then I'll come in and I'll cut them off. A lot of people just pull them off. I usually cut them off. I'll grab them in my right hand. I'll get down where I can measure the ends here. I'm going to make it half of my hook length for my tailing. So with my right hand, I'll come in and measure half of that hook with my fibers, and then I'll grab it right at that measured point, pre-measured point with my left hand. Now I know when I tie it in down here, it's going to be exactly half of that hook length. So I'll start my thread wraps up here. There we go. I'll wrap down the body to where that tail is going to tie off. And as you're wrapping down, the material always wants to roll away from you. So make sure when you're holding it, you're also putting your finger against that side of the hook. And as you go over and wrap, don't necessarily pull right there. Come over lightly, down, come up, and then as you come up, you can tighten that way, and it doesn't pull it over as much. A lot of people start and right here they'll really pull that way. If you do a loose wrap and then come over and tighten on the upstroke, it gets it to where it's already tied in a little and your material won't roll as much. So we'll bring our thread back up And we'll cut off all our excess pheasant tail here. There we go. Great thing about this fly is it's really simple to tie. Next material is Flashabou, and we use pearl Flashabou. Any Flashabou will do. This one's made by Hedron. And again, it's pearl. So I'll grab 2 strands of that. Smaller flies, you could use 1. Bigger, obviously you could add more. But for my standard one here, this size, I grab 2. Again, I'm having a hard time over here. There we go. We're also going to use this Flashabou for our wing case after we tie in our body. So I'll take about 2 inches and I'll leave it hanging out above the bead and the hook eye. And we'll end up adding that to our wing case at the end. So we'll bring our thread, you can bring it right up and pinch it in between your fingers, pull it over, and that'll pull it right into place there. And it makes it easy for tie-in, that little pinch wrap. We'll wrap down to where our tail is. And you can hold your Flashabou, just wrap it right on top of the hook. And right as you get down to the tail, we'll bring our thread back up towards the bead. And here we have 2 strands of Flashabou, and we're going to wrap that as our body over that red thread base. So that red will bleed through, and the pearl Flashabou gives it a nice translucency and flash. And you can see that there we go, let me get those 2 out of the way. They split right there. When you're wrapping them, sometimes they do. Just take your time, unwrap it. There we go. Bring that one back. So when you're tying, it's not a race to see how many you can tie. Oh, that just got all jacked up, didn't it? And here's one of those moments that tires don't show a lot. When they mess up and all you see is everything all perfect in the videos. Well, I don't know what happened to my tailing. Oh, it got sucked down there. Let's see if we can save it. There we go. We're going to pop that out. There it is. Bring that back up. Nice. Okay. Like I said, you wrap in 2, and this one came undone, or it split away from itself and makes it harder to wrap. Just start over. It's not a race to the finish. See how many you can do in this amount of time. And take your time. If it doesn't look good, just undo it and start over. So we got all it coming back up to the bead here. And right as we get up in that thorax area right behind the bead, we're going to wrap. I'll grab it in my right hand, bring my thread around, and that'll be our tie-off point. Let me wrap my thread up there. There we go. Just bring it over twice, 3 times, pull down to tighten it. And now we've got 2 strands that we wrap the body with. And we're going to take those 2 strands that we had extra over the hook eye and come back and join them together. So now we have 4 strands that we're going to use for our wing case. Anytime you want to have a little bigger wing case or a little shinier and you're using Flashabou or any kind of material, you can leave a little bit extra, do your body, it'll stay thin, and then you can add that little extra back in there. So we'll join that all together, do a few wraps over it, come back right about the 80 or 75% mark of the hook there, and we're going to add a little dubbing to finish it off. There we go. We got all that Flashabou real nice for add to our wing case after. The original pattern has rainbow sow dubbing. You can see some here. Has all kind of different rainbow colors. You move it and you see a different hue here or there. Great attractor dubbing to add in any of your tractor flies. We're going to dub in just a little bit right at the top of the fly here, right in the thorax area. Again, anytime you put dubbing on, start with a little and then you can add more if needed. It's always easier to add instead of taking away. There we go. We'll see how this looks. Again, we want just a little. We're going to build up just a little bit right here. That's not too bad. We'll use all that. There we go. And we'll bring our thread right behind that bead. We'll lay down a little bit of base because we're going to tie off the wing case but also build up a little hot spot with that red thread. Okay, now we'll grab those 4 strands of Flashabou, pull it right up over the top with my right hand. I'll put my finger right against the hook and hold that Flashabou tight. Bring my thread up around with my left hand. Once. There we go. Twice. 3 times, and then pull down to tighten. And we'll cut off all that excess. Now we have a really nice wing case on there. And we'll use this red thread to create a little hot spot right behind the bead. There we go. And all you got to do is whip finish or half hitch. And you're almost done. There we go. I do 2. Give it a little tug. Clip it off. There we go. Now we're going to add, and if you see any long fibers, just clip them out. Or if you don't have enough, you can always pick the dubbing out yourself. So we're going to add a little glue now to the head. The original didn't have any added to the body down there in the abdomen. I think that was because the UV products weren't popular or as abundant when originally he made this. So whatever glue you like, come in and glue your head. Make sure that hot spot's not going to unravel on you. Once you get one fish, durability is key. You can also come in with the UV product if you like and coat your abdomen down there. It's just going to add durability so that Flashabou won't come unraveled, and oftentimes it also adds a little more translucency and depth to it to make it a little more realistic. So try tying up a few of these in different sizes. Right now, this time of year, go small, and then as the summer goes on, the water warms up, go big, and really big attractor patterns. You can go up to size 12 with them. This one's 14, like I said. 16 and 18 are my favorite. Do them under any kind of rig you want, from a dry dropper rig in shallow water to indicator rig or a Euro rig. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.